The new broadcast center is now officially open.
What you're about to see has never been recorded by television
This is
cameras.
a night of waiting, watching, and for many of us, praying.
They're here at the airport, ready to greet the team home.
Tonight, a special look back at 65 years of Two Works for You.
Good evening. I'm Two Works for You anchor Karen Larson.
And I used to work here. I'm former Channel 2 anchor Karen Keith. We are so glad you've joined us as we look back and celebrate 65 years of Channel 2. Now, long before either of us were on TV, Channel 2 started with a vision, a dream of being the voice of Oklahoma.
It's a story as remarkable as the men and women who made it happen. The story of Channel 2 starts not on TV, but on radio.
And services, nope.
Bristow's KFRU signed on in 1925. A year later, the call letters were changed to KVOO, the voice of Oklahoma. Owner E.H. Rollestone had big dreams for his little station, but in 1927, money troubles forced the station to move to Tulsa. Oilman William G. Skelly bought KVOO and built new studios downtown.
Gone are the happy nights, lady.
In the late 20s and 30s, the listening audience grew with live performances from big names like Gene Autry and Bob Wills.
423 North Main in Tulsa, Oklahoma. KVOO presents Bob Wills and the Texas.
Radio icon Paul Harvey and actor Tony Randall both got their start at the station, which was about to undergo a major change. With more people turning to TV, KVOO owner William Skelly applied for a license. He teamed up with another oilman, Robert Kerr, and in 1954, KVOO TV Channel 2 was born. Regular programming started December 5th, broadcast from the Ektar building on Denver. The first show at 3 o'clock that afternoon, a 39-minute special dedicated to the new station. There was a film from NBC dedicating the station's launch.
NBC Television.
And a speech from Skelly himself.
We think we can render as great a service on television as we have on KVO radio station for the past 30 years.
In 1957, a new home for KVOO TV and radio. The children of KVOO President Harold Stewart broke ground on the custom Art Deco building at 37th and Peoria. Months later, they opened the station during a live broadcast.
They will cut the ribbon, as they have right now, and the new broadcast center is now officially open.
Before long, advancements in technology allowed us to go beyond the studio. We could take our cameras to the news and broadcast it live as it happened.
We here at CNT News made a little news of our own. We aired the first live report ever included in a regularly scheduled newscast in Tulsa by way of our live action cam.
Then, as now, always looking for new ways to work for you.
We had the community and its people in mind. This was our priority. If we could serve our community and its people, we were happy.
In the years that followed, KVOO TV produced several local shows. The University of Tulsa Presents premiered in 1955. The weekly half-hour program was a lab project for TU's television class. Kids loved Big Bill and Umagog, a children's show hosted by William Big Bill Blair. The real star was Umagog, a robot that delighted children in live studio audiences and at home. In the mid to late 60s, Fantastic Theater treated viewers to classic sci-fi and horror films. Host Joseph Peter Hart greeted the watchers in his authentic German accent every Friday and Saturday night.
Good evening, meine Freunde, and welcome to Fantastic Theater.
The 70s started with a transition that would guide the course of Channel 2 for the next 50 years. Scripps Howard Broadcasting, part of the E.W. Scripps Company, bought the station. E.W. Scripps had started as a newspaper company more than 90 years earlier. The strong commitment to journalism carried over from the page to the screen.
There was a news-oriented company buying Channel 2. And they gave us an awful lot of help.
With a new owner came new call letters. KTEW, Tulsa, EW Scripps.
News Center 2 with John McDonald, Jerry Weber, Gary Galvin, and the news team of News Center 2.
A few years later, another change, this time to KJRH in honor of Jack R. Howard, longtime president of the EW Scripps Company.
KJRH, Jack R. Howard. Together, we're good news for Tulsa.
In the decades that followed, Channel 2 earned its reputation as the station that works for you.
KJRH is a Scripps-Howard broadcasting station,
amplifying the real voice of Oklahoma, yours. Today, our commitment to real journalism continues, led by the guiding principle of the Scripps motto, give light and the people will find their own way.
Now, I'm not sure how old I was when I first started to work here, but Jack Morris was the evening anchor and I was running the studio camera. Now, even the news back then showed commitment to our community, something that impacted me all my years here as well as in my role as a Tulsa County Commissioner. I'm also proud that the legacy of Channel 2 continues on the anchor desk with this woman, my friend, Karen Larson.
I'm so glad we get to work together on
so
this
fun.
project. It really is. You know, our connections go way back. Your colleague, my colleague, Jerry Weber, he's the whole reason I'm here at Channel 2. I remember him calling me all those years ago and saying, Karen, any chance you want to get back into TV? And that's how I landed at Channel 2.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, there have been many talented men and women who've worked here over the years, both behind the scenes and on TV.
Faces that you rely on to bring you the news, weather, and sports.
Coming up, teamwork. It is as important in broadcasting as it is in sports.
Bringing you the news takes lots of teamwork behind the scenes and on camera.
Most new banking facilities are equipped with...
As we celebrate our 65th anniversary,
Good evening, I'm Beth Ringgold. Coming up tonight,
we're reaching into the archives to shine a light on some of the reporters and anchors you welcomed into your homes.
Traveled between Tulsa.
Like Jack Morris in the 60s and 70s.
Good crowd here at the Canes Ballroom. I don't know.
Big Al, so long a fixture on the sports desk.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Weber.
And I'm Karen Keith.
And longtime anchor Jerry Weber. He co-anchored with so many of us.
thank you for joining us.
Career opportunities in commercial
A reporter's investigations help break major stories.
He spent more than 18 months.
We want you to meet one local veteran.
And they team up with our meteorologists.
It was really a team effort that we were able to do that between
who sometimes work around the clock to cover everything Mother Nature can dish out.
The damage here is a half-mile wide.
And unexpected challenges getting those stories on the air.
Good evening. Here are some of the stories we're following for you now at News Center 2.
Sam Jones brought us stories others might overlook.
While he asked us not to give his name or location, he had no objections to talking about his home for the past 4 years.
But this is the dumpster he found converted into a home. As we fondly remember those we worked with bringing you the news, one thing quickly becomes apparent. While the faces of Channel 2 may change from time to time, our commitment to quality journalism never does.
We've been so fortunate to work for great people over the years.
Oh, we have, and I loved your story about Jerry. But I wanted to tell you, when Jack Morris was here and I was running studio camera, he was pretty short. And we took gaffer's tape, wrapped it around a phone book because the chairs didn't elevate. And that's what he sat on. Oof. It couldn't have been comfortable.
You know it wasn't, but you never knew on air, that's for sure.
That's for sure. But Channel 2 has always been at the forefront of innovation.
And over the years, anytime a new technology became available that would help us keep you safer or better informed, we jumped on it. Here's a look back at some of our station firsts.
10 years ago, Tulsa television weather forecasting featured one puppet, one cartoon, and one state-of-the-art radar. Gary Shore had the radar.
In 1984, only 3 television stations in the United States had Doppler radar. Channel 2 had one of them, the first in Tulsa.
It's going to give us more of an edge. It's going to mean that there are storms that we haven't been able to spot early enough in the past that now we'll be able to give an earlier warning.
Doppler was a huge game changer for us. Now, since that time, we've done upgrades to give you even more advanced notice of a potential tornado.
In 1985, Channel 2 became the first Tulsa television station to broadcast in stereo, bringing a new depth to the viewing and listening experience.
This is News Center 2.
In 2002, another first. On January 24th, Channel 2 became the first Tulsa TV station to transmit a digital broadcast feed. We also became the first Tulsa TV station to broadcast local content in HD, airing station promotions during NBC's coverage of the Winter Olympics. In 2018, Channel 2 became the first and only TV station in Tulsa to adopt Viper 4D technology. Combined with the area's only 2 locally owned radar systems, this state-of-the-art equipment gives Channel 2 an edge when it comes to keeping you safe.
Whether it's 1979 or 2019, then and now, our commitment remains the same, to keep you safe.
And with new tools like our Storm Chaser and our Sky 2 drone, we're really able to keep you covered like never before.
Yes, and still ahead, from heartbreaking tragedies to severe storms and massive flooding.
A look back at some of the big stories we brought you over the last few decades. Next, as we celebrate 65 years of Channel 2.
But when I started here, they still would bring cars into the studio and put them on the turntable to shoot car spots. We have a turntable in the studio, and we'd bring a car in and do a production shoot with that car turning. We uncovered that whole turntable and we got it spinning, and all of the employees came out and were riding around on that turntable, and it was just so much fun. You wouldn't believe it. We were all acting like little kids riding around on it.
Hey, we're Hanson. Just want to say a big happy anniversary to Channel 2.
Whatever's working,
yes,
for you seems to be working.
Apparently it works because you've stuck it out. So congratulations. Thanks for being a part of Tulsa, and we'll see you for the next anniversary.